As an addendum here, the total number of detainees now in U.S. control is 474, 220 in Afghanistan, and 254 detainees in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And with that, we'll take your questions.
Charlie?
Mr. Secretary, speaking of Admiral Stuffelbeam, he lamented yesterday that this war has turned into what he called a shadow war, and that you're chasing Al-Qaeda and Taliban, and it's difficult to find them. You're very reluctant to discuss now the secret things that are going on, especially while they're going on, Special Forces troops, what they're doing. It seems the things that you are announcing, for instance, the attack at Zawar-Kili and the attack north of Kandahar, later turn out to be mistakes. Are you worried that this is turning into some kind of public relations disaster where the headlines in the newspapers, the preponderance of them, are on mistakes rather than accomplishments?
Well, I mean, the first thing one has to say is that any time there is a suggestion that U.S. forces have, as you characterized it, made a mistake, it is something that we take very seriously. As a country, and certainly the armed forces and the Pentagon do. When that occurs, we ask the appropriate people to undertake an investigation and to look into the charges or the allegations that have been made. We do that because we care that things be done as well as it's humanly possible to do them. You say that everything we do is being called a mistake. I don't know that that's the case. Maybe I didn't quote you quite right, but it seems to me there's a great deal we're doing in the country. We're in the process of assisting them to develop their own national military force. We're providing humanitarian assistance. We're assisting the government with a host of specific things. The forces everywhere they're located are helping the people in those communities. So there's a great deal of good being done, and the harm that the Taliban was doing is no longer being done. The Al-Qaeda that had pretty much taken over the country in a major sense, the forces in the country are doing a variety of things, and among them are some things that are not public. That is to say, they are observing things that are taking place and trying to make judgments about where people might be located or who might be moving things around in the country in a way that's inappropriate. So we don't announce those things. They're out doing that on a covert basis. There are other things they do which are not announced until they happen. No one ever likes to see an event where someone charges that it was improper, as we saw with respect to the operation that General Myers commented on. But it happens, and all you can do is go at it, find out what took place, and tell the world what actually happened.
Are you concerned over these two high-profile events and what they might be doing to the campaign in the eyes of the world?
I'm always concerned when there's an allegation that suggests that some innocent person that an attack was inappropriate, or that some innocent person was killed or injured. Obviously, anyone would be concerned about that.
We are anxious to share some of these successes with you. The problem is that once you do that, then the tactics and the techniques and the procedures that are being used in this very difficult mission of locating leadership and other pockets of Al-Qaeda or Taliban, once we tell you how successful we've been, then we will reveal those tactics, techniques, and procedures, and sometimes they're easy to thwart.
I've become very cautious.
Mr.
Yes.
Secretary, several people now from this podium have said that this target at Zawar-Kili is believed to have been legitimate, appropriate, yet stories persist out of the region that the missile may have killed 3 innocent civilians who were out collecting scrap metal. Can you provide for us today any additional information besides what this predator may have seen that led U.S. forces to attack that site And second of all, what is your...
This is on the three individuals?
At Zaur Kili.
Okay, let's do that one.
Okay.
I don't know that I can add anything to it. It's my understanding that the people who operate the Predator were watching a large number of people, 15 or 10, 15, 20 people, over a period of time, and out of this group came 3 people. And they moved in and among various outcroppings of rocks and trees, and the people who have the responsibility for making those judgments made the judgment that, in fact, they were Al-Qaeda and that they were a proper target. A decision was made to fire the Hellfire missile. It was fired. It apparently hit 3 people, 1 or more people. There is an investigation underway. Special forces could not get up there because of the weather. They went up there. They cleared away a large diameter area of snow, anywhere from 1 foot to 2 feet of snow, and picked up a great deal of material. Now, someone has said that these people were not what the people managing the Predator believed them to be. We'll just have to find out. There's not much more anyone could add, except there's that one version and there's the other version.
Was there any additional intelligence that led to this site to begin with that may have contributed to the perception that these were Al-Qaeda?
These are people who have been doing this now for a good many weeks, and they monitor sites, and they go back to sites where they know Al-Qaeda have been, and they check things out, and they are honorable, fine people doing the best that's possible to be done. I was not in the control booth. I have not reviewed the, I have not compared the elements that went into their decisions. I'm sure people will do that.
What is your personal confidence that this, in fact, was an appropriate, legitimate target?
It's not for me to say. I have great confidence in the people doing it. They're honorable people. They're talented people. They're skillful. They've been doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and they've got darn good record, and I've got a lot of respect for them. Yes.
Secretary, you said earlier there's a great deal of good being done in Afghanistan, and you were citing in particular the humanitarian effort that's being made daily. But in the hunt for Al-Qaeda and Taliban leaders on the military front, what has gone right lately? We've heard nothing but problems lately. What's gone right?
Well, we have gathered some intelligence from them that has been beneficial to the United States and other countries and to our deployed forces. And not just a little, but more than a little. Second, we continue to gather in additional people, senior people in the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. It's a fairly steady flow. It's not large numbers at any given time, but we are continuing to bring them in and to interrogate them at Bagram or at Kandahar and ultimately in Guantanamo Bay. So I feel quite good about the progress.
Senior people, how senior, any names or?
As you know, we've got what they say their names are, and we have what we think them to be and some of their aliases, and we've decided that it's not useful to announce their names because then, for one thing, that could be wrong because they don't always tell the truth.